Welcome to 2K Sports, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. And tonight, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, for the Clippers, they got their season rolling with a nice win in their first game. Now we'll find out if they can build on it and open with back-to-back victories. And here in the early going, some teams already fulfilling their potential while others struggling out of the gate. Shaq, how big a deal are these initial outcomes?
Ernie, let me tell you something. I hated losing, period. Didn't matter if it was early, late, whatever. I expected to win every time out.
Well, the reality is of it, you have 82 games. So if you get too high or too low in your little valleys or your peaks, you're going to be in big trouble. But every loss and every win does affect home court advantage if you're a veteran team trying to make the playoffs and trying to win it all. So you're thinking about every loss. If you lose in April, it hurts just as much when you lose in January.
And time now for tip-off. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
Introducing your Los Angeles Clippers. At shooting guard, 6 feet 4 inches, number 4, J.J. Redick. Man in the middle, 6'11", from Texas A&M, number 6, DeAndre Jordan. And at forward, 6'10", from Oklahoma, number 32, Blake Griffin. At guard, 6 foot from Wake Forest, number 3, Chris Paul. Starting at small forward, at 6 foot 9 inches, number 13, Paul George.
Live from Los Angeles, we proudly bring you the Clippers at the Staples Center. Looking at that last game for the Los Angeles Clippers, it was a win against the Sacramento Kings. And just one look at the score tells you all you need to know. They were dominant in just about every area.
And guys, they could have won that game on the strength of their offense alone. It was that good.
And most impressive when you do it on the road like that. They just kept coming at them wave after wave, and they really kept the crowd on mute in that one.
Tip-off goes to the Clippers. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the floor for Dallas, Williams is out there with Matthews. Then there's Harrison Barnes. Then it's Bogut, and it's Nowitzki in at the power forward. Yes, fans, Clark, and the one team they view as floppers is the Clippers. I don't like that word, but just kind of came out. Whether that is fair or not is up for debate, but it is certainly, I think, the perception.
And I think there's some truth to that perception. I mean, multiple players have received fines for flopping on their roster. I mean, you can't run away from that, and the fans remember it, too.
Oh, they do, yes, sir. And so it's the Mavericks getting on the board first. And it's George missing. A chance now to go to Dorisburg, who had a chance to talk with Rick Carlisle.
I asked him how he was going to slow down Blake Griffin in this one, and he told me, any way we can. He went on to add that he didn't really have any one answer for Blake because he is such a dynamic player, adding, you see the dunks in the highlight reels, but he can hurt you in a lot of ways as well. Really, we just have to throw everything we can his way. Guys?
And thank you for that, Doris.
And for the Clippers and flopping, part of it might just be reputation. Whenever anyone hits the deck on their team, fans might be quick to kind of condemn that as a flop.
Rejected by Nowitzki. Williams against Paul. Outside Williams. Over in the corner, Matthews. From past the arc, that drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Matthews has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
You know, the Clippers were the darlings of the NBA as they improved and made strides, but I think the flopping has kind of diminished that now, that love affair. Being labeled a group of floppers can certainly stifle your popularity.
Chris Paul, guys, for the last decade, the best point guard in the NBA. Now, there's some new competition for that distinction, though, with Steph Curry breaking through to NBA stardom. And it's always exciting to watch these two go head-to-head.
Now here's Williams. He's coming off a 13-point game against Phoenix.
And also defensively, guys, he kept them off balance with 4 steals on the night.
Now here's Paul. Following the miss by Wesley Matthews. Paul kicks to Griffin from 17 feet out, and that one comes up a bit short. How would you compare Chris Paul and Steph Curry?
Well, Steph Curry is just an off-the-chart shooter. I think the best in the history of the game in overall shot making and creativity as far as shooting goes. Paul is more of an orchestrator, a maestro supreme.
Here's Paul. In the game against Sacramento, very impressive. Now here's Williams. First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes play. Shot's good. Nowitzki's got his second bucket of the night.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition.
Now here's Griffin. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Kings in Sacramento, and he jams it with authority.
I mean, if the defender is going to play off like that, and you know what's going to happen, there are going to be points put on the board.
And so here is Dallas. The Clippers getting the bucket. Wesley Matthews on the wing. Nowitzki a screen. Nobody near Barnes. That 3 off the mark.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
Now Griffin. Harrison Barnes missing on the 3. 5 on the clock. Tries from 7. And he can't bank that one in. The Mavericks leading. Outside Williams. Over in the corner, Matthews. Nowitzki a screen. Matthews with it. Chris Paul covering. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Powell, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Barea comes in for Deron Williams. Now here's Paul. Picked by Griffin. Nobody near George. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. George has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
You know, no doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, he had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
JaVale McGee's checked in for the Clippers. And the Mavericks making a change here. Barea with it. Here's Harris. Dallas, no good that time either.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Redick. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket for Dallas. They've gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. And guys, over the last 2 seasons, Devin Harris has been a backup point guard, but one could argue that he's outperformed the guys that are directly ahead of him.
That's exactly right, Kevin. I mean, Harris came back to the team that he started his career with to be a support player, but injuries, trades, and generally poor fits elevated Harris's importance to the team. That's a heads-up play there on offense. The pump fake cleared the way for the nice layup.
Barnes kicks to Harris. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
You know, getting back to Devin Harris, he can really help you. But you want to do one thing, limit his minutes. 11 full seasons under his belt. Slender in build. It's best to play him around half the game if you can.
Here's Barea. Paul George making his last shot. Barea dishes to Powell. That doesn't go, and he's 0 of 1 from the field.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
You know, talking about the veteran Harris, his quickness was still apparent last season, and his skill set was a good fit for Coach Carlisle's flow offense. I mean, this guy's been around a long time, and there are very few that are quicker than him with the ball.
Now here is Harris. An 11-point game for him in the win against Phoenix.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates. And, you know, coaches just love players who they can count on to give that effort defensively.
And he clearly is one of those guys, Greg. We saw it right there. Nice work forcing that miss.
George against Barnes. Outside, George. A baseline J. The shot, no good. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. This, their first look at this year's Los Angeles squad.
Yeah, and this game kicks off a 4-game season series between the two teams.
2 conference foes, guys, looking to take game 1 tonight. Very interesting to see who can land the first blow.
What great touch there on the fadeaway. Man, right in his face.
Paul, right side. He dishes it to McGee. It's stolen. Harris outside. Here's Barea. Bank shot, no good.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
To the paint. And he can't jam it through. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. 32 seconds left here in the opening quarter. There's the pick. Out to the right wing. Good chance here for Barnes. It's good. Great play set up by Barea. Barnes has got his first 2 points.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
And that's a super defensive play. If that gets through, no doubt they score.
And that's why he sold out for it, because he knew he had to make that play. He wasn't going to let them get the advantage.
Intercepted. Up top, Barea. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Pass to Shorty. On the high post, he drills it.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
It's all tied here in Los Angeles. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. J.J. Redick, a focal point in his tenure with the Duke Blue Devils, both offensively and as a lightning rod for fans.
I think I'll forever be associated with Duke and Duke basketball. And obviously that's a polarizing topic for some people. They like me, some people don't like me. But I take a lot of pride in the fact that I went to school there, I got to play there, and I graduated from Duke.
There's no doubt that he is Mr. Duke, J.J. Redick, and it's hard to argue with that school's incredible success, Greg, whether you like him or not. And I know you've had a first-hand view of Duke a couple times.
And listen, I have the utmost respect for J.J. and Coach K and what they've done there. And then listen, you could be known for a lot worse things in your life and having gone to a lot worse places. But I think for him, it's not about where he's been, Kev. I think it's about where he's going and what's going to be the next chapter in his career.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
On the court for the Mavericks, Harris is out there with Williams, and it's Bogut, then there's Nowitzki, and it's Matthews in at the 3 spot.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
You look at Dallas, and that team didn't rely too much on the mid-range or the short game last season, but they could have. They shot 70% from 12 feet and in, excluding drives. That's pretty good.
Harris kicks to Nowitzki. A fader. Another shot, and it's laid up and in by Harris. Harris has got 5 now.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
Here's Shorty. Again, Los Angeles. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. It's tipped. Bogut, the pass to Matthews. That's good. He's got 9.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
Matthews against George. Jordan the screen. George dishes to Jordan. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Dirk Nowitzki picks up that one. Andre Jordan has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round, and he's made good on it, though.
Now here is Harris. 5 points in the game. Paul George with the steal. The pass to Short. He lobs it up. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Harris. And now Matthews pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for Dallas.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Here's George after Wesley Matthews' score. Jordan inside, covered by Bogut. Can't get it to go.
And watching DeAndre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen 0 drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness. But no question, he's improved his skills and IQ.
Mavericks leading by 3. Outside Matthews. Williams up on top. Defended by George. Bogut. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Williams has got his 7th assist of the game with that last one.
And talking about DeAndre Jordan, he is displaying an energy level that many scouts wondered if he had. Let's face it, he underachieved a bit in his 1 year in college. He knows that. But when it's come time to do it at the highest level, DeAndre has risen to the occasion.
A platoon swap here for the Clippers. Clippers trail by 5. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Dishes it to Redick. 6 on the shot clock. And stolen by Nowitzki. On the wing, Harris. Defended by Paul. Bogut kicks to Nowitzki. Nowitzki sets a screen for Matthews to the inside. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And guys, nice to see Bogut out there given all the injuries that he's had to overcome in his career. Just glad to see him at full strength.
That one is off. You know, Bogut, as I recall, Clark was so distraught by those injuries that at one point he thought he might retire.
Yeah, he gave some serious thought to packing it in after the 2013 season, Kevin. Luckily for his team, though, he worked through it and is as strong as ever at the defensive end.
Shorty, he's checked in for the Clippers. And Dallas with a change here, too. J.J. Barea is checked in for Harris. And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A 3-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact. Boy, Doc Rivers keeps on leading his teams to successful seasons. A former coach of the year rarely has a season where his team doesn't meet expectations.
That was your Spirit Dance Team.
Dallas leading by 3. Barea kicks to Barnes. The feed to Matthews. Shoots the 3. And Barea with the basket on the assist by Matthews. And Doc Rivers passed the 700-win mark as a coach last season. He's climbing the ladder in career wins.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know that Doc oftentimes gets enough credit for the type of coach he is. I mean, as a coach, he is well over 500 in terms of his career win percentage. And how about over 500 in playoff games as well?
Here's Shorty following the score by Dallas. Kicks to McGee. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And we've seen Dallas just be fantastic since the start of the new millennium. Year in and year out, they seem to always win 50 games. Hit that mark again last season.
Well, last season they won 50, Greg, as you just said. That marked Clark the 12th time. It happened since 2000.
Well, clearly this franchise has been committed to winning. I mean, you hear that from a lot of franchises, but they often aren't willing to take the risk that the Mavericks take. And the Mavs do a good job of putting their money where their mouth is.
Now here's Barnes. He's coming off a 13-point game against Phoenix. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. The Mavericks have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight. And so he hits the technical free throw. George is checked in for Johnson.
Paul George.
Dallas moving the ball around. Clock at 6. Here's Barea. And it falls over the rim and in. Barea's got 7 points.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
There's a good screen. Here's Redick. Goes up and lays it nice and easy.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
It's becoming a theme in this game, Clark. They are piling up the points in the paint.
George passes to Redick. The shot's good on the assist by George. He's got 6.
In the first, he had trouble hitting with any consistency. But here in the second, he's turned it around.
Here's Mesri, and he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
Dallas leading by 8. Now Barea. He has 7 to the paint. Layup off the pick. Powell. That's good.
A much better quarter for them shooting the ball.
Anytime your field goal percentage is in the high 50s, partner, you're doing something right.
Here's Shorty. Stripped away. Matthews left side. Puts up the baby hook. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot two. And when you watch Wes Matthews, you see he's just a fantastic perimeter defender, Clark. He can match up well at either the 2 or the 3.
His combination, Kevin, of length and strength and lateral movement make him an outstanding defensive player.
And for Matthews, you know, he knows that he's a strong defender. And so last year, his claim was that he was the best two-way shooting guard in the NBA.
Now here's Griffin. Powell pulls it in.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Barnes against George. Now here's Barnes. He's guarded closely. Here's the screen. No good off the front iron. George. No good trying to beat the buzzer. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. Mavericks lead by 12. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Yes, Kevin, here with Doc Rivers. And Doc, so far in this game, do you feel like the team is struggling getting good looks?
I don't mind the shots. They're good shots for the most part. I would like extra passes every once in a while, but overall, our shots have been not bad. We got to get stops.
Coach, thank you so much. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be right back after halftime for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. Wesley Matthews has been having a big night. He had 14 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Shaq, what's your take on Dallas?
They did an awesome-horrific job. That's right, Ernie. Awesome-horrific. That's awesome and terrific together. Anyway, they did an awesome-horrific job of limiting turnovers. They were almost mistake-free. It puts you in the right frame of mind when you can play like that. As long as they keep protecting the ball in the next 2 quarters, they will protect the lead.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Clippers.
To fall behind like this at home after only one half is upsetting. We're not talking about an insurmountable deficit, but we're not talking about a small one either. They're going to have to play a good second half of basketball for a chance to win this.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. One of the stories here, Wesley Matthews getting it done today.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
They've got Paul George. Griffin is out there with JaVale McGee. Then there's J.J. Redick, and it's Shorty in at the point. That's who's out there for the Clippers. Williams dishes to Matthews. Nowitzki a screen. Back to Williams. From downtown. Again, Williams missing. Clippers trail by 11. Outside, George.
Rising up and hammering it home. That could be just what they need to pick their energy up.
Wow, it definitely got the guys on the bench on their feet. I'll say that for man. Oh, man, was that
fun. And no doubt about it, guys. That's one of those plays that will pick up his... teammates. A lot of times a play like that is just what you need to get the adrenaline flow for your team.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia.
Last season, the Clippers came away with the 3rd seed out west. They were very tough in conference and managed to get 37 of their 56 wins against Western Conference teams.
Barnes with it. George picks him up. Offensive rebound. McGee with the block. Now here's Redick, the fast break opportunity. Griffin's shot is off. Mavericks leading by 11. As you said, for the Clippers, 37 wins last year against the rest of the West. That total was the 2nd most against the rest of the West among any team in the league. Trailed only Golden State in that regard.
And you know what? They played the top West teams tough as well. One of only 3 Western Conference teams to be over 500 against the rest of the playoff teams from the West.
DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Los Angeles. Paul comes in for Shorty. Harris is checked in for Dallas.
And, you know, looking at Andrew Bogut, he's been one of the game's best centers. I mean, obviously injuries have saddled him a little bit over the years, but he's made it through 67 games each of the past 2 seasons.
And George kicks to Griffin. Jordan the screen. Jumper off the screen. That's in, and the Dallas lead is cut down to 10 on the bucket from Griffin.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Paul against Williams. The 10-footer. He squares up and sinks it. Well, going back to Bogut when he's healthy, he's a very difficult matchup for any opponent. One of the great rebounders and defenders certainly in this game now. He also, though, gives you points from the blocks and with timely putbacks.
You know, he's become an unsung hero in a sense. Not the flashy guy who entered the league, but more of a very talented lunch pail kind of guy who simply wants to do his part.
There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Williams kicks to Nowitzki. Williams a screen. Harris outside. Lets the 3 fly, and that one's good. Harris has got 8.
And that's good stuff from him. Nice touch.
Clippers trail by 13. Paul goes in. He feeds it to Griffin. Passes to Jordan. It's stolen by Bogut. And here is Williams. And Harris wide open. He shoots off target from 3-point range. Barnes against George. Pass to Griffin. Paul dishes to Redick. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. Griffin passes to Jordan. Shot's good. Griffin making the play. That's 7 points here for DeAndre Jordan. Mavericks leading by 11.
Mavericks timeout call.
And the Mavericks call time here. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
And if you look at the numbers, guys, I mean, what jumps out at you is the balance they had offensively.
Very satisfying road win because you're right. There was tremendous balance displayed. I mean, the crowd was basically stunned at how they were able to dismantle that defense.
And the shot is good. The Maverick lead has been cut down now to just 9 in the basket from George. Dallas has gone 1 of 4 in 3-point shots here in the third. Now here's Barea, defended by Paul. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Barea's got 9 points.
And haven't we seen that a few times today, guys? I mean, their defense has got to have a little bit more toughness about it.
Paul outside. Griffin attacking to the paint and stolen by Barnes. Here's Barea. 9 points in the game so far. Out to the right wing. They set the pick. That's a 2 from Barnes. And that one comes up a bit short.
Frozen. Guys just ice cold, unable to contribute offensively.
And it's blocked. And it's Harris off the drive. And Jordan sends it back. And it's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. Now here's Barnes. Here's Barea. But they recover it. Here's Mejri. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
The drive by Paul. And George kicks to Paul. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got his 4th assist in this one.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Griffin grabs the board. Clippers trail by 11.
Well, you know, the Mavs made the playoffs last season, but they really had a hard time against the rest of the Western Conference contenders, in part because they struggled defensively. Offensively, they were pretty good, but they didn't quite come up with enough stops when they needed them.
Now, here's Barea. He's covered closely. On the wing, Harris. Covered by Redick. And the basket by Harris. And Greg, you talked about what the Mavs did, how they played against the West, 29-23 record against the rest of the conference.
Yeah, but Kevin, it's a little misleading, the win total. I mean, if you look at the Mavs against the teams that they compare themselves to, which are the playoff teams in the West, they were only 10-18 over the course of the season.
Good point. Barea with it. Chris Paul covering. They set the pick. And it's Harris off the drive. No good. George with the defensive effort. Clippers have gone 7 of 10 on their field goal attempts here in the third. 3-on-3. Stolen by George. Inside. Deflects the pass. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Harris.
Substitution for the Mavericks. Wesley Matthews. Los Angeles timeout called.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
They've been committing a lot of turnovers, and I imagine that's exactly what they're talking about right now. They need to tighten it up.
Los Angeles calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Mavericks ahead, up 10. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Here's Paul, and it's time for an injury report. Now let's get an update on Blake Griffin's injury. And Doris, what do you have?
Well, guys, I had a moment to catch up with the head athletic trainer for Los Angeles. He told me that it doesn't look too serious. A discouraging development for this team so early in the season. We'll see what kind of impact it has on them in the long term, guys.
Thank you, Doris, for the update. We appreciate it, and we really hope for the best as always.
And he's a tough guy. My guess is he'll be back before we know it and better than ever.
Greg, I sure hope you're right. I mean, there are just so many uncertainties when it comes to dealing with injuries, though. Let's hope for the best.
On the floor for Dallas starting the fourth quarter here. Nowitzki is out there with Matthews. Then it's Williams. Then it's Bogut. And it's Barea in at the 2. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
Williams against Paul. Scored the bucket. He's made 5 so far, shooting a very clean 5 of 7.
Money there shaves a few points off the lead, and the later we get into this game, the more you're going to see him attacking the basket.
Knocked loose. Here's Williams, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Hey guys, it's been a slow decline for Deron Williams the last few seasons. Once considered an elite point guard, he just doesn't have that stature any longer.
Barnes, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Well, for Williams, Greg, in his decline, his field goal percentage dropped to below 40% last season. Clark, I never thought I'd see the day with that.
Those were the worst offensive numbers since his rookie season. I mean, he had the game that you thought would carry him past his athletic prime, but that might not be the case the way those numbers look.
Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Williams has got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, his pace makes him really hard to keep track of, guys. I mean, if you lose him, he'll explode to the rim on you.
The shot by Paul, no good. Mavericks leading by 6. Williams with the ball. Chris Paul covering. Williams dishes to Nowitzki. Matthews against Johnson. Just 5 to shoot. Johnson with the block. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Paul with the ball. McGee is screen on Williams, and it's Paul penetrating, and it's McGee with the jam.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And guys, anytime it's real tight, you're looking for something that could be potentially a momentum builder. And that's exactly what that play looks to be.
Nowitzki. Great D on that shot, and it's off the mark. Clippers trail by 4. Paul outside. Williams with the steal. Oh, here comes Williams all alone. And he lays it up and in. And the Mavericks lead by 6. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats here for Dallas?
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, Doc Rivers was just addressing the plan with his team. He talked mainly about giving them a different look defensively and dropping more bodies into the paint, saying, listen, they're eating us up on the inside, and we need to do whatever it takes to stop it. Guys, back to you.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for JaVale McGee. Griffin comes in for Johnson. Paul George is checked in for Johnson. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Reggie Bullock. Again, the miss by Williams. Clippers trail by 6. It's George on the wing. He's guarded by Williams. Feeds to Redick. Shot on the wing. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Outside Williams. Clock at 6. 17-foot shot on the way. That one misses. It's his 5th miss. He's made 4 baskets. And it's sent back by Bogut. It's out of bounds. The Clippers able to retain possession here. And the Clippers making a switch here. Johnson's checked in.
Wesley Johnson.
George against Barnes. Paul outside. Outside for George. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got assist number 7 for him tonight.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
He feeds it to Jordan. He kicks it to Redick. Jordan with the screen on Matthews. Back to Jordan. And he gets the bucket.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
Paul against Williams. There's the pick. Nowitzki a screen. Williams passes to Nowitzki. And it's the Clippers with the rebound. Jordan's got 4 rebounds in this game.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Paul kicks to George. Back to Paul. 17-foot shot on the way. Excellent D there from Williams.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch. The game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
You know, I think he just wants to tinker with the game plan a little bit, and I think that's a wise timeout.
And part of it, too, Greg, was he saw some things going on out there that he didn't care for.
.153 left in the 4th quarter. That's Nowitzki at the elbow. And stolen by Redick. Oh, and here comes Johnson all alone. And he caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
Oh, man, what a turnaround. Sensational play on D, and then the rapid-fire run to the basket.
Greg, they didn't wait around, did they? They went right for the throat.
Guys, this is crunch time now. When you got a chance to capitalize on the turnover, you got to take it and make it.
There's 1:38 left to play here in the 4th. Fades away, and right through it goes. And that's now 11 points for Nowitzki.
And how about the execution, really when it matters most? He knew he had the height advantage and just got the job done. No need to pass in that situation.
Paul dishes to George. On the wing, Johnson. Back to George. Clock at 6. Nice D from Bogut. The Mavericks have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. And 101 left in the 4th quarter. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession.
You got sloppy in a close game. You have to take advantage of every opportunity.
And the Clippers call time here. They're losing by 1. 58 seconds left in the 4th quarter. 58 seconds left in the game. Williams against Paul. There's a screen. It's good.
And you like to see since the half now. He's finally starting to come around.
Here's Williams. The dish to Barnes. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth from that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
And so he's good on both free throws, and that gives them the lead.
And that was huge right there. Just as cool as he could be. And he's been clutch at the line there in a very tense moment.
Jordan with a screen on Nowitzki. Pass to Paul. Back to George. Buries it.
Shot after shot, one after the other. PG, Paul George, making it happen.
Dallas calls timeout. They're down by 1. 23 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what's your take?
And really no need to rush. Still plenty of time to get a good look.
Well, if they've got a play that they use to get a quality shot, this is the time to run it.
.23 seconds left to play in the final quarter. The drive by Nowitzki. Money!
Well, Dirk Nowitzki is a handful, and they're having a lot of trouble dealing with him.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They're behind by 1. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Al Paul. Johnson, the pass to Paul. It's stolen by Bogut. Knocked away. And now they decide to foul intentionally.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let them dribble the game out.
Exactly. I mean, you got to stop the clock any way possible and hope they alligator arm a few of those free throws.
And the second of 2 is good. That will put them up by 2. Los Angeles calls timeout. They trail by 2. 3 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
With this much time left on the clock, I try to shoot from as close to the basket as possible because that way you have enough time for a quick putback if you miss.
So it's a narrow victory for the Mavericks, pulling out the W. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride